Coming up, she's worthy of recognition. Yeah, baby, we're celebrating our partners. We're celebrating our lovers. We're celebrating the love of our life this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. Welcome to Mornings in the Lab where
when something negative comes up.
Building muscle appeals, blood flow.
Nobody is expecting, Jon.
If the lady's saying that, you're just
It's a super
Be entertained by fun over here.
How have I slept? Has my sleep been good? Is that
There we go. There we go. What's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? It's here on a Friday, the Friday of the Loop. Yeah, baby. We're getting after it. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. I'm your host. I'm Keith Bilous. That's me. Yep, true story. We got Jon Andersen joining us here this morning as well. Chris from Martin, CMartyFit joining us as well this morning. We are going to get after the conversation about she is worthy of recognition. Yes, baby. We're going to get into women's empowerment this morning on Mornings in the Lab. We are going to be talking about celebrating the ones that help us keep grounded and so forth. Hey, listen, we got Jon Andersen joining us here this morning. We got CMartyFit. We got Drummond joining us as well. Good morning, Jeremy Cunningham. I see you there in the lab this morning. We are going to keep the conversation rolling. Hey, guys, listen, this is an explicit show. So if you have kids around the room that you want to make sure that they are there is words that they might hear that they don't want to, that you don't want them to be hearing, you might want to walk them out of the room and or else just educate them on the fact that there's going to be some language on the show today that might rumble and stumble them. Jimmy, let's bring Johnny up on the stage. I might need to do a reset. I think Uncle Keith's stuttering over here. So what's going on, Mr. Andersen?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
How are you, pal? I'm a little bit off today, but I'm good. I'm here. I'm after it. We're getting after it. It's the Friday of the Loop here, and I'm excited to crush some fun and have some good conversation this morning.
Are you saying that you're not quite on this morning? Or it sounded like there was a little hesitation.
Yeah, no, I'm a little bit off today for some reason. I'm not really sure why, but I'm a little bit off.
Okay, no, that's good. Did you do a little soul searching? Did you try to figure it out, or just kind of moving forward?
I'm glad you asked. Yeah, I've been I did my morning little run this morning, as you know, and my Friday run. And as I was running, I kept counting myself in. And by the time the run was over, I still wasn't counted in, Johnny. I was like, okay, well, I guess I got to keep fucking working on it this morning.
On that level, brother, check this out. This is my methodology. Sorry.
Tell me.
A little bit of a leaf coming loose on my cigar. Good. A wet tongue will fix that, though. So when I'm having one of those mornings, what I realize is that I've got to just kick my ass a little bit harder. It doesn't have to be much. Like I was a little bit away that this morning too.
Yes.
I was like kind of on the fence. Like this could be a good day or it could kind of not be a bad day, just not the day I wanted it to be.
Yes.
So what I did was today was a stair terror climber. There's the dyslexia kick.
Yeah.
I got on there and I put the first minute at 13, which is just fucking flying.
Dude,
I just
fucking got out.
All I was really doing was just trying to like kick my ass real quick and see if that would shake me loose. And I would say it was fairly successful. I was better for that nasty 1 minute. Then I slowed it down to 10, which felt like a fucking walk in the park, which is normally very difficult.
Nice. Good for you, man. Good for you. Good morning, good time. Good morning, Adam. Good to have you guys here this morning on Mornings in the Lab. Johnny, I went to bed last night at 6:30.
Nice.
Yeah, I know.
Were you tired? What was the scoop? What was the?
You know what? My brain yesterday was fried. I found myself fried yesterday. I just felt like I had a cloudy brain. It was just full of I don't know. I just needed to go to sleep. So I went to sleep.
Did you empty the clip out throughout the day at all?
No, I didn't actually. True story. No, and I'm glad you asked because sometimes I need that clarity, right? No, I had a full day yesterday. But I literally, I went to bed. and got up this morning at 4 o'clock, my normal time. And then my little Apple Watch says, "Hey, you got your full sleep?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no shit, I did." But I can tell you what part. I think I know what part of my challenge is, brother, and I'll share with you what it is. I struggle with I struggle with societal expectations on days like today. I do. I'll be frank, and we've had this conversation before. I don't like when society or people, and I know you're going to go, "Well, Bills, don't worry about it. Don't focus on it." And you're right. You're 100% right. And I don't, but it still exists, right? I don't like when people expect things or when society expects things. I don't like what's, it's like it's Christmas or it's Valentine's, these days throughout the year where somebody has decided that we all got to do something because somebody said we have to, right? Well, for me, Valentine's Day is all year. So I don't know.
You know what those are, brother?
Yeah.
Those are called rules that you're supposed to be breaking.
Precisely. And I'm glad to break them. Believe me, I'm the first person to break them. It's funny because we had a chat with Jeremy Lastman after the show, and I asked him what he was doing today. He's like, probably not much because I just celebrate Valentine's Day all year with my wife. He's like, so I don't necessarily focus on making it one day.
That's
right?
good shit.
Well, because I think that's what it is, right? That's what it is.
Yeah, it's like having a New Year's resolution all year long.
That's exactly it. That's absolutely it.
Wait for these days to live at a heightened level.
Yes. Okay, so it looks like I just had a little bit of an issue here. So you know what you're going to do? You're going to keep chatting for a quick second here and just talk about your day. And I'm going to do a reset, and I'll be back in less than a minute, okay? Keep it going, brother.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah, let's go.
Well, obviously we're here, everyone, to make your days better, make them more efficient, make them more productive. We talk about all sorts of different ways to make that happen. But the one thing that I would really want to urge anyone listening to do would be don't just take exactly what we say and just put it into play. Think about it's almost like you collectively take all these little potential ideas and you make them your own, and you find a way to stick them into your day, your life, so that you're going to be a better version of yourself. And here's the thing. When you're just following a recipe, so to speak, like following directions, it's never quite as good as when you learn to kind of adjust on the fly based upon the direction that recipe is putting you in. So when we're talking about like when I'm saying that I put the alarm, I recommend put the alarm, your phone, into the bathroom, another room. That's basically symbolic of saying, hey, find a way to get off your feet before you have the chance to hit snooze. However you choose to do that is completely up to you. When we talk about, getting daily exercise, it's not saying do the exercise that we talk about. It's about finding the exercise that fits in your life that you enjoy, because when all of this stuff comes together, we talk about consistency. We talk about, sometimes we even say it's boring. Here's the thing. It's only boring until you start making this amazing progress. And then it's fucking fun. You can't wait to do those simple tasks that are becoming automatic, that give you this amazing feeling in your heart, in your brain, and literally in your body. Because when you have that amazing feeling in your heart and your brain, you're getting all sorts of pleasurable chemicals into your bloodstream, which you feel amazing. That's literally, remember this, the language of the brain is your thoughts. The language of your body is feelings. How do you feel? So you could really control how you feel. And there's a lot of really, really amazing leaders will say, if you control your thoughts, you control your life. And I know that sounds real simple, but it's very true. Very difficult, but very true.
Yeah, very simple, very, very true. I think that Marty's showing up here in the cook set. What? Marty, I'm sorry, Johnny. We have Jen Drummond joining us here today. Jen is going to be joining us, I believe, in about 10 minutes or so. She's a beast, man. She's accomplished a lot of crazy things in the world. World record mountain climber. Done a bunch of incredible feats. So she's going to join us here in a few moments. Marty just sent me something funny I want to throw on the stage as well here. But Johnny, what are you and Terry doing today, brother?
Well, I guess it really kind of comes down to how Terry's feeling. She's been having, yesterday she got a little bit cranky. So yeah, it was funny. We were she's like, kind of, would you like to watch a movie? And it's our time. I'm like, of course we are, and it was one of those days where, holy Christ, it was really difficult just to go to watch the movie. Because I said, okay, baby, pick the movie. So I was just kind of finishing up my day. And then she said, oh, I want you to come pick the movie with me. I know how that works. She does whatever I say doesn't work. So I just kind of sat there quietly and she was picking the movie. And then I said, I'm going to go get something to eat while you're picking the movie. Then she finds the movie, starts the movie, doesn't tell me. And I was like, holy Christ, I just need to be quiet, realize she's cranky and go sit down on the couch because she was trying to abort. She's like, maybe this isn't a good day to watch a movie. And I was like, no, sweetie, it totally is. I'll be right there. I had to recognize that she was having a rough day. And because her pain was hitting her a little bit, she's trying to not use the pain meds is what I'm getting at. So today will be dictated around how she feels.
That's awesome. Hey, Jen, I see you on the horizontal stream. Jen, if I can get you to the vertical stream as well, that would be great. You got 2 tabs there, Jen. So if you can open up that second tab for the vertical stream, we can get you on both. That would be fantastic. Get you over there. Marty, how are you, brother?
I'm good, man. How you doing, man?
Good, man. I'm good. I got this funny text from here this morning. I want to get to a little bit later. How was your day? How was your day yesterday, pal?
It was good, man. We had a quarterly meeting.
Oh, how did that go?
It was good. It was good. That was like my first one. I never been to one, so that was pretty cool.
Did you boss?
Mark, there's something you've done that I've never been a part of one of those either, brother.
You've never been part of that too, yeah. So
I've run some meetings, but I've never been to a meeting where I'm supposed to sit in and I guess I've always been the guy that's calling the meeting if that's the
yeah. No, I like it. I like it though. I liked it. It was they had all my
first
stats
experience.
on the board.
How did it go for you, brother? It was first experience. How was it?
It was good, man. They put my stats on the board, how many memberships I sold and the percentage the gym is increasing and all that good shit. So
yeah,
it's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's cool.
You did that for your gym or for your businesses?
I mean, I didn't ever do that.
Okay. You ran those meetings?
Yeah. Yeah. It figure like this. It's like even now, it's the thing that I really hang my hat on is that it's either a system or a person getting my work done for me.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But no, I like the idea of, just hearing you go into your first, listening to people that explain their first experiences is always fun.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, yeah,
you,
but it was pretty cool, man. But what's going on, man? Terry getting cranky on you, man?
Well, she's trying to get off her pain meds.
Yeah,
she's still a lot of pain.
That's a motherfucker. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it's just one of those days. I mean, I've been dealing with her feeling like that for months, ever since she had this accident. And so it's real easier for me to spot. I just have to realize, hey, it's temporary. Tomorrow's going to be a better day. Yeah. And, for her, and the main thing is just for me not to react to it. Because if I react to it, it's game on.
Yeah. Oh,
and that's never good.
So let me ask you, how you been managing your workouts since she's in post-surgery? How you been managing that?
Well, if I look to the left, there's a door. Right through that door is my gym.
Got you. Okay. So it's at the house. Got you. I got you.
Yeah. So we actually have a few different gym memberships, but we, for the most part, they're just like when we choose to go out.
Yeah.
But sometime, bro, you have to come down to a place in Mexico because we got a gym down there. I always have gyms at my house because of the time it takes me in transit to go to and from a gym. The amount I can make in that time, a lot of times it just doesn't equate. If I got stuff I got to do and I get my workout in, and I don't want to give an hour away of my day. So, but anyway, the one in Mexico, brother, it's outside. It's fucking cool.
I got to come out there, man.
Yeah, come on, baby. Come on.
It's on it's in the, is it like by Cabo? Like down that way?
It's a bit north. So,
it's north of Cabo.
What I wanted to do, I wanted to have a place that I could drive from house to house. So I can literally, this is cool, bro. I can grab a set of keys and I got everything down there. I've got a whole life down there too. All my clothes, everything I would need. So I can just grab a set of keys, get in the car, be down door to door in 6 hours. I'll have to stop at least 3 times to piss. And literally, boom, I'm in.
Probably more than that.
I try to make sure if it's a planned trip, because sometimes we'll just say, fuck, let's go. Those are cool. But if I know that I'm going, I'll change my water intake so that I can make it in 3 stops.
Yep.
That's how Marty plans his road trips. Just how much he has to piss along the way, right?
Yeah, it's a good plan, man.
Here's the best thing, dude. Listen to this. So my Hummer, it's like a full-blown Humvee. It's not an H1. It's a basic, I shouldn't say restored, but redone, right? So it's really, but the fucking gas tank in these things, unbelievable. 25-gallon tank, and you're not even getting close to 10 miles to the gallon. So you got like 200 miles on a tank, which is not much.
What?
And the gas gauge is pretty funky. You can't quite tell. I mean, it's it's almost like a tractor, a fucking needle sitting there moving around when you're driving.
Crazy.
So you never really know where you are. So here's the best part. Every time I got to take a piss, I stop to get gas, and it's fucking dead perfect. That's the gas gauge in that when I'm driving that vehicle is when I got to piss. As long as I stop to pee to ever get gas from a top, no fucking problems. It's perfect.
Well, listen, guys, I want to just pause for a quick second and just say thanks to my teammates, Marty and John, for covering my ass here for the first number of minutes while I had to reset my browsers. Listen, boys, we got some wonderful conversation happening in the stream here. We got Ryan Sullivan joining us, boys. Marty, John, you remember Ryan? Ryan joins from Podcast Principles, The Rock. Dude, he's a rapper. Have you guys seen his rapping on LinkedIn? It is awesome stuff, man. Marty, you got to check it out, man.
Ryan?
You got to check it out, man. He's got some great stuff there. Ryan, good to have you here on the show this morning, brother. Jeremy Cunningham's joining us in the feeds as well. We got Amy. I knew a girl named Ramy. I'll never forget this going to school, guys. This lady's like, why is your name Ramy? She's like, I don't know. That's why my parents named me. Yeah. Anyway, we got Amy Reiner in the lab this morning as well. Amy, I think, was like me. She's like, yes. And Amy's like, it's called performative romance. It's hard to argue with that, eh? Where you have these days where it's like, okay, it's performative gift day, it's performative Easter day. It's these days that we all have to do something, right? So, but good to have you here, Sullivan. I'd love to have you on the show rapping, man. If you guys did some if you guys would see what happens behind the show here. I had to kind of get into the mood because I was kind of out of sorts this morning. So, Marty, you'd be proud, man. I popped a little bit of Kendrick in some ears, popped some Drake in some ears. And I
about to say, Drake dropped today, man.
I know. I sang behind the camera here. I was just busting away and the show started.
Did you see my song a couple weeks ago?
I did not. No, I did not.
I got another one dropping soon.
Oh,
yeah.
Hold on. Did you say
you make songs, brother?
Yeah.
I made a Big Back song a couple weeks ago. Yeah,
of course,
dude. Check this out. It's crazy now with all the modern day technology, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you're from wrestling, the wrestling world. MVP. You got to remember, he's a buddy of mine.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, he basically, when he decided he wanted to be a rapper, it was obviously in the newer. I mean, he's always rapped, but he wanted to take his art to the people, right? So because of all the modern day technology, he was able to just make a song, put it on iTunes, put it up on his social media, and the fucking guy was making bank. Everybody just going and buying the song for $1.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
You figure 500, on a small scale, 500 people show up and buy that's $500. On a larger scale, 250,000 show up, you got $250,000, and all you did was fucking, take your passion and make it available to the people.
I got to be honest. I saw Sullivan rapping there. I was jealous. I'm like, fuck, why did I do that when I was in my 30s? Like, the guy's busting it out, man. Like, he's a full-fledged rock star. He's on stage cheering.
I'll tell you why I didn't do something like that, because I fucking suck.
Sullivan does not suck, man. He's good. And I'm like, holy shit, this guy's awesome. And I'm watching him, and I'm like, oh, man, to have the courage to be, Marty, imagine yourself, whatever, and just getting on stage and rapping. That is awesome. That's absolutely
awesome.
I got nothing but props for that, Sullivan. Good for you, man. Listen, let's keep it going, guys. Let's do the accountability check-in. Let's bring Jen Drummond in, and let's get to know the superstar Mountaineer. Guys, she's a world record holding Mountaineer. Jen's going to join us here in a second and tell us all about that. But Jimmy, let's get to the accountability check-in, guys. Let's keep rocking and rolling. All right, she used to look at you differently, guys. Yes. You tell yourself she's changed. Yep. She pulls away first. That she should be the one to fix it. Maybe. But that's not the whole story, guys, is it? What if she just tried? I'm sorry. What if she's just tired? Maybe she's tired of trying. Maybe she's tired of reaching. Maybe she's tired of chasing you. You work hard, you carry a lot, and yeah, you deserve to be seen. But gentlemen, ears up, boys. So does she. Yep. Listen. Blame is easy. Accountability, well, that's different. That's leadership, right? So where do you start? Boys, I'm going to ask yourself to check yourself. Notice when you shut down. Notice when you deflect. Notice when you withdraw. Notice when you pull back from the human, the person, the love, your partner who's trying to lean in. Guys, forget the scorecard. I've been there. I've totally been there. I'm going to admit I've been there. The best thing that I did was throw the scorecard away. Yeah. You got to give because you choose to, not to keep score. Not because it says that it's Valentine's Day. Not because it says that it's her birthday. Not because it says that it's Christmas. No, choose to love. Forget the scorecard. Communicate with your partner. And if you're feeling disconnected, say it. No jabs, no silence games. Be present. You heard AJ yesterday. Make the effort. It takes no talent, boys, to take effort. It takes no talent to make effort. So listen, phone down, eyes up, be there. And listen, guys, today's not the day where you're going to magically rebuild your connection. But today's the day you potentially could take that first step. And guys, I invite you to consider this. What happens next? Well, it's your call. It's your call, guys. Today's the day we empower and we celebrate the ones that love us. Today's the day on Valentine's Day with Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. All right, Jim. Woo, baby. You know those days when you're trying to get to 10, but you're struggling on the 8 or the 9, and you're just trying to get to 10 or get to 11? Well, Uncle Keith here is struggling at the 8 or 9, guys. So bear with me while I get through the show today, doing the best that I can to keep us on limb here. So listen, Marty, Johnny, I'm going to introduce Jen Drummond here, guys. And here's how it works. Life is a climb, right? And no one knows that better than Jen Drummond. She's a mom of 7. Marty, I said 7. Yes, I did say. And you know what? I've had some men through the lab that have had 7 and 8 kids, and I'm like, holy smokes.
Whew.
Yeah, Jen, 7 kids. World, and listen, not just mom of 7. She's a world record holding mountaineer. And Marty, it gets even better. Johnny, listen to this.
Sound like a goat to me.
Yeah. And the founder of an 8-figure financial services firm. So boys, let's just do some math for a second. Yeah, 7 kids, world time record mountaineer, and the founder of an 8-figure financial services firm. Boys, what the hell are we doing here? She's faced chaos, both on the mountain and in life, and she's come out stronger. Now she's helping high achievers master resilience, leadership, and balance. Her message, you don't have to force success, guys. You don't. You can strategize for it. Because real strength isn't about grinding harder. It's about climbing smarter. Jimmy, let's bring her up to the lab, my friend. Let's welcome in our friend, our new friend, Miss Jen Drummond.
What's up, Jen?
Hi. Good morning.
Hi. So you know what? I think before we even get started, Marty, you said it. We got to drop it, brother.
You got to let her know what that is, though, Keith.
That is a goat. You are the greatest of all time, and you're not even on the show to say anything, Jen Drummond. Welcome to the lab. Welcome to the lab. How are you today?
I'm fantastic. Thank you. How are you?
We're awesome. So listen, Mama's record mountaineer and the founder of a financial services firm. Who does Jen Drummond identify with? Which title do you carry first?
Oh, you know what? Mom of 7 is the hardest one. So that's the one I'm like, I earned this. So I'm taking that title and running.
I got to know, how old are they?
Yeah.
So my oldest is 18, and then my youngest are 12. So 7 and 6 years and 2 months.
God, you got them all in a pretty tight time frame. You were going to work there, weren't you?
It's a season. It's a season over here.
Wow. Wow. Good for you, man. That's really cool. So that's the one. If I could go back, I could go back and do it again, I would have more kids.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No kidding.
Yeah, I would love to have 7 kids.
Hey, I don't have any yet, but when I have my first one, I'm popping them out back to back. Just
you know what?
that, Keith.
It's so much
just
fun.
Know that, Keith.
Yeah, they entertain each other, right? So like one likes this, and then they have enough buddies to go do that, and yeah, so it works out perfect. I love it. It's a ton of energy, but it is so rewarding.
Oh God, yes.
That's awesome. Johnny, why don't you set it up, man? You know how we go with our guests here on the show. Why don't you throw the most important question of the day to our dear guest this morning, Jen Drummond, Jon Andersen.
Well, with 7 kids, it's going to be very interesting to hear the answer to this one. So the question we ask everybody is, what is your morning routine?
Yeah. So every morning I wake up an hour before they do. And I set my first alarm to wake me up. And then I sit in bed for 15 minutes and have another alarm automatically go off. And for that 15 minutes, I'm visualizing my day. So I'm role
Yeah.
playing what I have to do, how I want to show up, what my day is going to return to me. And so then after, when my next alarm goes off, I get up, I shower, I brush my teeth, I do all that kind of stuff. I eat breakfast. I just like to roll slow because when the team wakes up, I'm making eggs, I'm making pancakes, and we're ready to rock for school.
I love it, man. That's so awesome. You know, my day, I've actually got it's 6 or 7 alarms that go off throughout the day, which just cue me to do different things. It's so amazing how easy it's become with the technology that we have. I love the fact that you just go right to your visualization and your priming for the day. That's awesome.
Jen, as you're starting your day and if the visualization is not working, you're getting into it. All Uncle Keith here today is having some struggles getting into it today. When visualization is not working for you, Jen, what do you do? How do you get out of this, out of the funk?
Yeah. I have developed avatars for different parts of my day. So I have the magnificent mom avatar. I have the super speaker. And so when you develop these avatars, you know, like how that person reacts or responds or thinks or handles stress or eats or sleeps or do these different pieces. So if I'm having a hard time visualizing, I'll drop back into the avatars that I've created and start focusing on those and who needs to be what at what time during the day.
That is so amazing. I play that role too. I've got my warrior in a garden avatar. I've got my avatar. Okay. I'm basically downshifting to focus on my wife, so I have these different personalities that live in me that I have to find for different parts of my day or my life. That's amazing. I love that.
So I've never thought about this before. You guys actually identify with a certain avatar. So it's like in the morning you wake up, you're one. I've never, Marty, have you heard this before? Have you heard somebody doing this?
Never in my life.
This is
brother, the avatar that when I was putting 700 pounds on a squat bar, walking it back with no catch racks, knowing I was going to squat till it fell out till I crashed. That avatar was a nasty son of a bitch.
Really? So
I guess
it's
he couldn't be hurt. You couldn't hurt him.
I guess, Marty, it's like you putting the glasses on at night and become a Marty Fit, or it's me in the morning, I guess, doing my morning show. And then when I do I lift, I get upstairs after my day and I become like business guy Keith. I guess you guys are saying the same thing, right, Jen? Which is in the morning, you're one thing. And then as the day progresses, you move out of one role into another. It's really what you're saying, right?
100%. Yeah. And then it just allows you to borrow strength from these different areas. When I got into mountaineering, I'd never slept in a tent before, right? Like I was just so new and I don't like bugs and I don't like being cold and like all the things. Well, that doesn't work if you want to climb Everest. So I had to come up with an avatar that could kick Jen's butt and make it to the top.
Did you climb Everest?
I did.
Yes, I knew you did.
Nice.
I asked the question though, because I needed to hear the answer. That is awesome.
Savage.
Hey, Rich got some competition, man.
Dude, I know. So I got to
tell him I said that.
When I knocked on Drummond's door, I knocked on to say, hey, we would like to have some female, energy on the show here that might, keep us on our toes. And I remember Johnny's like, we got to find somebody who's like a goat, somebody who's done crazy shit. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go find somebody. And I went and looked on the old internets and I found this young lady named Jen Drummond. And I'm like, oh yeah, this person's done a few things. I'm going to put Johnny in his place. Yeah, baby, she's climbed Everest, Johnny.
I love it, man. I love it because here's the thing. The people that do crazy shit, they feed off each other. So everything she's saying is just firing me up, baby.
Yes. Here's how our show works, Jen. In about a minute or so, we're going to break for the CMartyFit tip, and then we do another 13-minute segment. Are you able to hang out with us, or do you got to rock and roll out of here?
No, I'm good. I'm good for another little bit.
Beautiful, because we've talked a little bit about the mountaineering stuff. We haven't even we've talked about the mom stuff. We got to talk about the mountaineering stuff, and we got to talk about the financial services thing, because you're kind of wearing three massive hats. And I know we believe here on the show that if you want to be successful in business, I always say to somebody, go run a marathon first, go climb a mountain first. Because if you're not willing to put the time in or the commitment to running a marathon or climbing a mountain, don't even think about starting a business. I'm suspecting you subscribe to that same philosophy.
100%.
Because they're one and the same, aren't they?
Yes, they are. It's amazing how much the parallels are in all of them. So when you're struggling in one area, like sometimes I'll flip to an exercise area because I can get momentum there and have that win, and then I can carry that win back into the work environment. So when you have these different categories that you can win in and build momentum from, it spills into everything.
Yeah, we got Amy Reinhardt coming in saying avatars, way to remove emotion and stay focused. I love that. And so do I, because when you put that mask on or that character hat, Johnny and Jen, like you become that avatar and you remove the emotion from the experience, isn't it, Jen? Really?
100%. Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, Marty, let's get after pro. We got some energy going on here. Let's get after
Get it, man.
and we'll come back with Jen and keep the conversation going. I want to talk mountaineering, financial services. We'll leave the mom stuff aside. Let's get after Marty.
All right, really quickly and really simple. We got to talk about protein shakes. All right, I know everybody, you see these protein shakes, you see an ad on Instagram, you know, your favorite bodybuilder uses it, your favorite athlete uses it, but let's talk about the importance of it and let's talk about why we need them, okay? Protein shakes are not something to rely on. That should not be your main source of protein. It is not a meal replacement, all right? Remember that. Do we need protein? Absolutely. It's essential. It's the most important macronutrient, but you're not supposed to get your protein from protein shakes solely, right? Get your protein from food. If you're not a vegan, chicken breast, salmon, steak, those are some great sources for protein, right? You don't want to have a protein shake every meal. That's not going to get the gains you want, and that's really not what our body needs, all right? If you're a vegan, you got black beans, you got chickpeas, you have all types of resources to get your protein. But protein shakes can be important. Let's say if your protein shake is 20 grams per scoop, you do 2 scoops, that's 40 grams. You needed to get to 120 and you're at 80 for the day. Hope y'all are quick with the math. I know I just said that quickly. But if you needed to get to your protein goal, that's one thing. I wouldn't rely on it every day, but if you want to do that every day and it's going to help you, totally your choice. But remember, they can be important, but that's not what we need to rely on. So get your protein from your actual food, from whole food sources. That's the fitness tip for today.
Hey, solid advice from Marty here today. Marty, I crushed nothing but protein yesterday, brother. Had a massive bowl of steak for lunch yesterday. Last night. Had a massive bowl of chicken and crushed it with some vegetables. And I went to bed. I was like, okay,
yes, sir.
I gotta go to bed, mister. So there we go. Hey, we're back with Keith, Marty, Jon, and our guest, Jen Drummond, here today. She is a world record mountaineer. She is she's built herself a little bit of a business and she's had time to have 7 kids. So we introduced Jen with the 7 kids moniker. We took that avatar, we put it aside. Now I want to move the conversation into these world record accomplishments you've done as a human being. So Jen, let's just sit back and list them off if you don't mind. So let's start with Everest.
Yes. Yeah.
When did you do it? How hard was it? I know it's a kind of a dumb question, but there's also there's a lot of truth to that. But let's talk about when did you do it? Talk about prepping for it. Take us through that experience, Jen Drummond.
Yeah, no. So I climbed Everest in May of 2021. Wow. It started because in 2020, I was turning 40 and wanted to climb a mountain for my 40th birthday. I was training for a mountain named Ama de Blanc, which is also located in Nepal.
Yes.
My son heard that as I'm a dumb blonde. Yes. And in an argument, challenged me to climb something bigger and said I should climb a real mountain like Everest. So I said, fine, I'll climb Everest and show you what it's like to get to the top of whatever our goal is.
You're and just like my mom.
I had to hire a coach, and the coach sent a book to me about becoming an uphill athlete because I'd been an athlete, but just not an uphill one. Yeah. And in the front of the book, there was a story of a lady, you got to get us world record. I'm like, if she got one, I can get one. And he's like, okay, let me think of something. And then my coach came up with the first woman to climb the second highest peak on each of the 7 continents, which is actually harder than the highest peak on each continent. And it had only been done by one male. So he's like, if you really want to do this, let's do this. And so Everest was actually training ground for me to climb K2 because K2 is that much more difficult.
Well, it's interesting because
were you training for this during Corona? Because if you were, this is the best social distancing I've ever heard of.
It was fabulous. It was perfect. So I totally was. And that's the whole thing. I was training for this climb and then it got postponed because we weren't allowed to travel anywhere. And then thankfully countries started opening up. So how I tackled mountains based on who dropped their COVID restrictions as fast as possible.
Interesting. So I have a quote from a previous show that I did, Jen, which is, those that climb Everest for glory, but those that climb K2 for respect.
Yeah.
And because we know K2 is a much harder, difficult mountain to climb than Everest. Are you climbing K2? Is that your plan? Have you done it? Are you on your way there? Or talk to us about
I've done it. I did K2. In fact, I was the third American female to be on the summit. It took me 2 attempts. So my first attempt, I actually lost the teammate in an avalanche. And so I cut my expedition short and took care of that drama.
That's brutal. Sorry to hear about that.
Yeah, you read about it. You just don't expect it to happen. And then it happens, and that's mind-blowing. And so I went back a second time and got it the second time, which is scary because 25% of the people that climb K2 die in its pursuit. So I'm sitting there thinking, like, I don't want to go there again. Like, my odds are going against me every single time I have to go back. There's been more people in space than on the top of K2, to give you an idea.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's a nutty statistic right there. That's cool as hell.
Yeah.
And that's some grit to have that tragic event happen, and you're like, I'm going back.
Yeah.
I'm getting this done. Yeah.
So Jen, what fascinates me about your journey is what's the word I'm looking for? How supportive your family has been.
Yeah.
Knowing that mom, literally, boys, like mom is walking towards potential death, and not figurative death, but real death. Right. She's like saying, guys, I'm leaving, and there's a 1 in 4 chance that I might die. And as a matter of fact, I'm going back. There's now a 50% chance that I might die. I'm being very frank and very blunt. But her family is saying, Mom, we support you, we love you, we encourage you. How do you have that conversation, Jen Drummond?
Yeah, so I got into a horrific car crash in 2018 that should have killed me and didn't. We have, like, the police rebuilt the accident every way. They couldn't build a scenario where I survived.
No,
about
shit.
3 weeks after my accident, one of my girlfriends that I was close with went running on a trail. It was wet out. She slipped, she hit her head, and she never came home. And so my kids watched me metabolize these 2 events and try to make sense of them. And my story about it is, we don't get to choose when we die, but we sure get to choose how we live. And so our job is to live our life. And when it's our turn to die, whether we're driving a car or climbing a mountain or hiking, like, it's our turn. And so you might as well be doing your life on your terms and living as much as you can.
Oh, amazing. What an inspiration. So let's go through your accomplishments, girl. Everest, K2, list them for us.
Yeah, so I did Ama de Blanc, or I'm a dumb blonde first, because you always do you first, and then you take care of your other things. I did Ojos del Salado in South America, Mount Kenya in Africa, Everest, Tempt of K2, which was not successful the first time, Dik Tau in Russia, Mount Tyree in Antarctica, which we were like the 15th people to summit that mountain.
Yeah.
Then I went to Mount Logan in North America, which is in Canada. We did not summit. We got turned around.
Yeah.
Went back to K2, summited K2. Then I went to Indonesia because there's a mountain there. Some people think that Indonesia is a part of Australia instead of Asia. And if it is, then you have to climb that mountain there. I didn't have success there because there is a tribal war going on and they wouldn't let us near the mountain.
Yes.
So I bopped over to Australia, knocked out Australia, and then came back, knocked out Mount Logan, filed with Guinness. And Guinness is like, nope, you know what? There's a few disputes. So we are going to make you go back to Indonesia. And we actually want you to climb a 9th mountain in Europe because some people think Russia isn't part of Europe.
Yes.
And so I had to go back to Europe, and I climbed in Switzerland a mountain named Mount Rosa. The political tension and like civil war calmed down in Indonesia barely. Like, we had to, when the helicopter landed, we had 15 minutes to run the first 2 hours of the climb so that we were in rebel territory that we needed to get out of.
Yes.
Climbed the mountain, got down, and so then I finished it. So 9 mountains for that pursuit, and we're done.
Wow.
Nice.
So I'm all thinking I was good because I've done Kilimanjaro, and I was on my way to Aqua Congo until COVID happened, and I put that aside. And then Cotopaxi over down there in Peru. I'm encouraged to climb as well. You'll love it. Have you done Cotopaxi?
I've done all those. Yes, I've done Kili and Aconcagua, and yeah,
that's amazing.
Oh,
savage.
I'm stumbling on my words this morning because these accomplishments are just are beyond anything. What out of all of the mountains, obviously K2, Everest are the most technically and physically difficult, but I'm going to assume that some of them had some difficulty that you didn't imagine, like political strife and so forth. What would come up from that, Jen?
Yeah. So K2 and Everest are the most known. But they're definitely not the most difficult.
No.
So it's interesting when you climb the seconds, you have to have different skills.
Yes.
If you climb the first, you can hike up all of them.
Yes.
So on the seconds, like when we did Mount Tyree, that is a 22 pitch ice climb. So you have like crampons on that you're poking into the hill.
Yes.
And you have ice axes that you're climbing with.
Yes.
When we climbed Mount Logan, which is actually probably the most physically demanding one.
Okay.
Mount Logan is Canada. It's North America. You got dropped off on the glacier by an airplane.
Yeah.
And then you had skis that you put skins on so that you could skin up the hill because it'd give you more like glide on each step because it's like 16 miles to the top and all this elevation gain. Well, the ground isn't tested. There's no route marked. There's no nothing. And so you never know if you're on a crevasse. So every step you take, you have to do a ski pole into the ground, left, center, right. And if it bounces back, you're like, okay, it's strong enough for me to hold me. Left, center, right. And you do that the entire time. And then when you set up a camp, like, so say you set up your tent, you have to build an igloo because the wind will rip the tent. So you're building a tent, you're building an igloo, and then you're like testing the ground. So you'll take some of your gear up the mountain when you're testing the ground, you'll bury it so it doesn't get blown away. You'll come back to your tent, you'll melt water to cook food, you'll sleep, then you'll pack up your tent, you'll ski on that line you just did the day before, as far past it as you can go. Then you have to build the tent, build the igloo again, you go to bed, and then you ski down the mountain to grab your gear to move it up. I mean, it's this inchworming process that takes forever in horrific conditions.
Well, that's what I find most. So when I climbed Killian and done my little climbing experiences, it's not so much the physical work I find is the difficult part, and everything around it, right? It was shitting in a paint can for 12 days, not showering, eating crazy food, sleeping on uneven surfaces. It's everything else that's difficult than actually doing the work.
Yeah.
Isn't it, right?
Oh yeah, the mental load is unbelievable. I had to like what part of the avatar piece, right? Like when we're building these igloos, I'm like, this is horrible. Like I'm cutting out ice blocks in the middle of Canada and I'm freezing my buns off. And if you go at it from that point, you're exhausted. Like you're tired, you hate life. But if you go back into your 5-year-old self that dreamed of building igloos and like sleeping in them with polar bears, like that's the avatar you need to bring up so that you're having fun doing what you're doing. Otherwise, it's a slog.
Wow. Mount Vincent.
Great mindset.
Why not Vincent and Antarctica? And why the other one, Jen?
So Vincent's the highest. So I did do that one, but that was my warm up.
You did.
Yeah. So I did Vincent as a warm up for Tyree.
Okay.
And then Tyree was the second highest point down there.
It's technically more difficult than is that what you're saying, right? So Vincent,
that one's a beast because not that many people have climbed it. And when they drop you off, you climb with 4 guides. And then they disappear and you're like these 5 people in the middle of no man's land. You're an hour and a half away and perfect weather for the plane to come back to get you. And if something goes wrong, there's no helicopter, there's no rescue, there's no nothing, like you're it. And so every step and everything is like, okay, if I mess up or slip or get hurt or something, like the whole thing's hurt for everybody. Wow. And so there's just a lot of pressure because you don't have the safety that you have in some of the other places.
Interesting. Man. So I have a question, a controversial question that's recently been arriving in the news as of late, especially with the climbing season around the corner. Xenon gas. People are talking about getting to the top of Everest using Xenon gas and just getting up there overnight and like the speed racing. I'm using some quick metaphors. And Jen, for those that don't know, Xenon gas is what?
Yeah, so Xenon gas is supposed to help you build red blood cells faster and handle the lack of oxygen so you acclimate faster. So like when I did, Everest expeditions can be 6 to 8 weeks because you have to go up and down the mountain so many times. So you'll go up to Camp 1 and there's not enough oxygen there. So then your body doesn't want to move. And then you sit at Camp 1 for as long as you can and you go back to base camp. And over the next 3 days, that stress causes your body to physiologically change and produce more red blood cells. Yeah. So now that you have more red blood cells, now you can hike up to Camp 2. Have the same experience, go down to base camp, wait 3 days, build the blood cells, go up to Camp 3. Like that's how you climb the mountain. Yeah. I couldn't be gone for 8 weeks because I have 7 kids. So I bought a tent that I put on my bed at home and I would sleep in this tent, which would mimic a lack of oxygen environment.
A hyperbaric tent. Yes.
A hyperbaric chamber. Yep. Or a hypoxico because it actually sucks it out.
Yes.
And so I'd sleep in this thing. And so I actually did Everest in 3 weeks. because I didn't have to do all the rotations on the mountain because I had already been acclimated at home, but I still, it's my body naturally acclimating, not using a substance to acclimate.
Yeah.
Right. And so it will be interesting to see if that actually works this year, like they're anticipating it to. And it sounds like these guys are running oxygen from the base as well.
I think a guy just climbed with Zen and gas, didn't he? I think somebody just successfully completed it and very much landed. I'm gonna make an exaggerative point, but landed like on a Friday, climbed on Saturday, and went home on Sunday. And I'm being exaggerative because that was how it was presented when I read the article. I'm gonna find it, but how quick it happened, I was fascinated because I'm all into this mountaineering stuff as well. It fascinates me. So I do some research. And I was like, oh, what's this Zen and gas stuff? And I was like, oh, okay, I see it. And it's, I guess, causing controversy in the sport because back when the original climbers went, there was no oxygen. Then you go and you take oxygen. Now it's like, okay, now it's all these little shortcuts, perhaps, right?
Yeah. And it's one of those things like, did you climb if you used oxygen, right? Like there's so many debates, and I guess it's up to every individual, but no, it'll be interesting to see. And then what are the long-term ramifications?
Yes.
Doing that to your body that fast, and what does that look like? So I'm definitely watching to see what happens because I'm interested.
Yeah.
But yeah, who knows? I actually did Aconcagua just a few weeks ago because I have 2 mountains left and I'll have another world record, and that was one of them.
Yes.
And so I went to it 2 weeks ago, and I actually called the doctor. I'm like, hey, can I do this gas thing for this? And he's like, I'm not letting you. I want other people to be the mouse on this one, not you. Like, okay, fair enough.
You just did Aconcagua a couple weeks ago. I know it's the January, February climbing season, so you just finished today.
Yeah.
The summit okay?
Yeah, it was brutal though because my grandma actually passed while I was there, and it's supposed to be like an 18 to 20 day trip.
Yes,
and I'm like, I need to get back, and so I did it in 5 days, and so I just basically vomited and got sick up the entire mountain because I wasn't acclimated. But I'm like, I don't care. I'm not coming back. I'm getting this done.
Wow, good for you. Hey, Jen, we got a lifestyle tip with Jon Andersen. Can you stick around for the rest of the hour to talk business?
Sure, let's do it.
All right, okay, Johnny, let's get after it. Let's do a lifestyle tip. I'm loving the energy it brings. Jen's bringing to the table here today. So we're going to do our lifestyle tip with Jon Andersen. I'll take a quick little minute break, and we'll come back, and I want to talk business with you and how we weave it all together. All right, perfect. Let's do it. All right, Jimmy, let's get Johnny up there.
Come on. All right, I'm pathetic. I'm never going to amount to shit. I can't do it. All of these terrible thoughts I have to negotiate every time that little voice inside my head gets a little bit fired up. But remember, I've got that other voice on the other side that will tell me that I can, that will tell me that I'm not pathetic, that will tell me that I'm not fat, that will give me the encouragement I need to do the things that I want to do, to tackle those big goals, to chase my dreams. And here's the thing. We all have these two voices that live inside of us. But unfortunately, so many people have become accustomed to listening to the voice that talks poorly to them that they don't really acknowledge or put any effort into listening to the voice or prompting the good voice to tell them that they can, to help them along with the challenges in life. So here's the thing. Just remember, you only feel like you can't if you're listening to that little dumb son of a bitch inside your head that tells you that you can't, because you absolutely can. Find the voice that lives inside your head that will encourage you to do what you want to do. Find that voice that lives inside your head that will give you the strength to take that first step. Find that little voice that will allow you to live the life you choose. Rock and roll.
That voice that gets her up every single mountain, world record holder Jen Drummond joining us here this morning on Mornings in Live with Keith and friends, myself, Jon Andersen, CMartyFit, producer Jimmy and producer Tommy over there on the buttons and in the community. Guys, we got Jen Drummond here. She is a mom of 7. She's a world record holder mountaineer. And now we're going to pivot to what she does to pay the bills. Boys, she has started an 8-figure, not 1, Marty, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, Johnny, an 8-figure financial services firm. Jen Drummond, dude, where do you stop? Where do we start with this one? Bring it on, kid.
Yeah, this one was hard. Okay, so I went to college. I was pre-med because I wanted to do well in like finances. Right, of course. And then my chemistry teacher's like, I don't think you're cut out for this. I think you have more of a business attitude than a medical attitude because I've never seen you at the library. I'm like, touche, I'll go to the business world. I took a job in financial services No idea what I was getting into. A friend of mine took a job there before and said I was expensive, so I should try it. I show up at this job and they show me around the office and they show me to the call center room. I'm like, oh, no, I'm not call center, sweetheart. I'm financial advisor. You must have me in the wrong spot. And this girl goes to me. She's like, honey, how do you think you build your book of business? You're going to be calling. And I'm like, what? And so here I am, like smiling and dialing. And I went home like every day sobbing because I was like, I had never heard no so much in my life. And the thing is like I graduated from college a year early to take this job. And my parents were like, don't just finish school like normal and then take a job. You're too young. And if you take this job, you're not allowed to quit. And so I'm 2 weeks in. I hate it. Who does this crap? This is stupid. So I called my college. I'm like, hey, do you guys think I can get back in? I was kidding. I didn't want to graduate. And they're like, no, sorry, honey. We can't get you into next semester. I was not calling my parents. Like that was not an option. So I bought a calendar. I circled 365 days later from my start date. And then I started figuring out, okay, I can make this a sufferfest or I can figure out how to make this fun. It's up to me because I'm here for a year no matter what. Figured out how to make it tolerable. I don't think fun ever came into the equation. But then first year out of college, I made more money than my parents did combined. And I was hooked. Now, I grew up like not wealthy. So let's be real. But still, like it was like.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Jen, what are the parallels? Let's get to the parallels. What are the parallels of growing that business, managing it, and continue to grow it today compared to all these world record achievements you have through mountaineering?
Yeah. There's a couple for sure. One is the story you write is the experience you live.
Yes.
Right? So you can make anything hell or you can make anything not hell, and that's all up to you. And so like you have to really pay attention to the narrative that you're writing about what you're doing. And the other thing is like 97% of the people I called said no. Okay?
Yeah.
3% said yes.
Yeah.
One of those people showed up. That one person that showed up, I made X amount of dollars. And so you have to you just have to keep going and understand like 97% of the time, you might feel like you're failing or going backwards or whatever. But if you keep putting one foot in front of the other, eventually you get to the top of the mountain.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting you say, Jen, because I have this stupid thing on my wrist here that I've been wearing since I climbed Kilimanjaro. And it's a reminder to me of poly.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
I know it's so simple. This idea, and Jon talks about all the time, putting one foot in front of the other. You don't have to go fast, but if you keep moving, you're going to create momentum. And eventually that momentum is going to turn into something.
Yeah.
Because that's just how life works, right? If you're sitting, you're not going to be able to create anything. And I love your stat, right? So you break it down. You talk to 10 people. Yep. 9 of them are saying pretty much go to hell. 1 of them, 7 are saying pretty much go to hell. 3 are kind of interested. And 1 are actually giving you their wallet.
Yeah, but it's more like 100. Like I'm talking to 100 people and 97 say F you or hang up or whatever else. And then 3 like tease you and 1 shows up. So.
Yes. Yeah.
Sheesh.
Marty, Johnny, questions for Jen?
I think the question I have is, clearly you had something in you from the beginning, So what would be, was there some sort of a trigger? Was there some sort of a line in the sand where, because you don't look at life the way that you don't talk like other people. You don't look at life the same way. So where did that start? Or was it kind of a evolution, or was there like that moment where it's like, bam, I see differently now?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think things fine tune and make things come into focus as life continues to go on. But if I look at myself as a child, I was a gymnast. And when you are a gymnast, like there's so many things that go wrong and you have to practice to land that flip on the beam or whatever else like that. Right. And so you just realized at a young age that all it is repetition and then refining and saying, okay, I need to turn a little bit more, or hold my tummy a little bit tighter, or do whatever that is to make that happen. And then I struggled with fertility, believe it or not. The reason why I have 7 children is because I failed the pee stick for years. And years. And then finally they came up with a chemical cocktail that changed the story. And so it's one of those things where it's like, I'm always going to lose if I don't try.
Wow.
Right. But if I keep trying, there's a chance I will win. And the reality is time's going to go by anyways. So I'd rather be the person that's trying than the person that said, okay, you're right, that's my sentencing.
Yeah, I so love that because I look back at situations where, something goes wrong. It's got my goat, and I'm having a hard time, turning it in. I remind myself, look, I was playing to win, and it makes it okay.
Yeah.
If I'm playing not to lose, I got a big fucking problem. But when I'm playing to win, I'm always going to be okay, no matter what the loss or the failure is, because I know that I'm in the right lane.
Yeah, it's huge.
Marty, question for Jen?
Yeah, if you don't mind me asking, what financial services are you in specifically?
Yeah, so we work with everyday people and help them with their 401k alignment or help them set up Roth IRAs or so everyday humans. And what happened was I was working with those people on a day-to-day basis, cold calling and building that book of business. And then I figured out how to collaborate and partner with institutions that would have a well of people. And then once you started building your reputation in that niche, it was a lot easier because someone had heard of your name before. They're like, oh, I know you helped this person, or you kind of became an expert on General Motor contracts. I mean, I grew up in Michigan, right? So who are the big employers? What do you need to know to be a specialist in what they have? And how do you service them and, meet them where they are?
So all of a sudden, one client actually is giving you 10,000 clients inside that one client. That's
exactly.
Wow. So Jen, today's show is really all about the title of today's show is She's Worthy of the Recognition.
Yeah.
And today is really about men celebrating our wives, our partners. This is a show for men. We get up every single day looking to empower men to be their best selves, non-toxic masculinity. We're okay to cry here. We're okay to have emotions here. We still get shit done, but we realize to get shit done, we got to have emotions. We got to lean into emotions. Stoic has a place, but getting shit done has a place, but it all starts with emotion. But I got to ask this, Jen. I want to learn about your husband because I got to think that you must have an incredibly supportive husband who's done nothing but empower you, encourage you to achieve the things that you've done. Talk about your partner, your husband, your life, Jen.
Yeah. I'm a difficult person to be with, if I had to be honest.
No shit.
Because
you wouldn't have done all the amazing things that you have if you were inside the box and easy.
Yes.
Right. Right. So just the space to be me. And the reality is to do hard things, you have to have soft skills, right? So water wins over the rock. And I always think of that. And so just having that space to be soft, to be frustrated, to unwind, to connect to myself and be, hey, this is you. How do you want to show up? And how do I support you? It's very much, what can I do? What do you need? And I just love that space to, one, ask for what I need and to have the ability to be crazy. And he's supportive. He gets it.
Yeah. You just summed up my wife. Without that kind of, I guess you'd say, foundation or backstop or that safety net. And it's just you someone that's going to support you through things that most people don't understand is huge.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, Jen, I made assumptions that you were still married and you still had a partner. I'm assuming that is the case.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. And you have so let's talk about the children then. How have the 7 children continued to support you in your journey?
Okay, so if you want to take on something big, setting a world record, and there's 7 mountains, and you have 7 children, and your 7 children instantly claim a mountain. So nothing makes accountability higher than that, because you climb Joe's mountain, but you're not going to climb mine. Why'd you reach that summit and not mine? Right. So it gives you this factor that you're okay, I have to do this. And so I think involving your family in what you're doing gives an accountability piece that you can't get other places, because the love you have for them is so big that the well of strength you have to pull from can't be beat.
When you wrap a why around one of your kids, it's pretty fucking
Yeah. Game over. You're in.
Yeah.
What, Marty and John,
Yeah.
most families, kids fight over who's the favorite child or the favorite parent, and Jen's kids are all fighting over which mountain the mom has climbed that has their name on it. No, she's climbed my mountain. No, she hasn't climbed my mountain. So that's awesome. So Jen, what's next? What's next in your journey?
Yeah. My favorite part of right now is getting on stages and talking with people and sharing the stories and giving them like just little cues and things that I did to get through the things I've done that they can then apply to their own lives to climb their own mountains. So I never thought I'd be a public speaker, but I freaking love it. Like I love it. So that's probably my favorite part of right now is giving back, which I think all of us do, right? You get to the top of the mountain, you feel great.
Yeah.
But watching someone else get to the top of the mountain is like you can't. I mean, it's the biggest high there is. Like, give me that drug all day long.
Yeah. Do you have another physical accomplishment you're chasing though, other than getting off stage, Jen?
I'm going to Denali in May. So
You
I'm
are?
going to go do Denali this next May. So I'm excited about that. And then it sounds like I'll be able to get into Russia soon. And so then I'll have one more there. And then I'm going to wrap up the mountains for a little bit.
Albus in Russia, right? Is it an Albus? Yeah. Wow. Listen, guys, you're hanging out with Keith, Jon, Marty, and our guest, Jen Drummond, here this morning. We're going to wrap up a conversation with Jen. Jen, will you come back and hang out with us again?
Let's do this. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, I love the energy you bring. You've certainly set the bar, I think, higher for me and my couple colleagues here to show up here. So, Jen, parting words. How can folks connect with Jen Drummond? How can they find you? How can they get a hold of you? How can they book you as a speaker, Jen?
Yeah. So go to jendrummond.com. But I also have a gift for all of your people.
Nice.
So if they want to text the word Everest to the number 33777, then they will get a picture of the Milky Way galaxy going over Everest Base Camp. And anytime like life gets overwhelming for me and I get stuck in the story of like, this is hard or whatever else, I'll look at that video and it just reminds me of how tiny we are.
Yeah.
And it puts things in perspective. So if you text the word Everest to 33777, you'll get that video, you'll have it on your phone and you can use it to look at and put things back into reality.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
I like that. I like that. I'm gonna take a bite off that. That's really good shit right there.
Good.
Jen, I have one for you to do, and it's nothing actually, considering what you have accomplished. But a couple of years back, I climbed Mount Pico in the Azores.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with Pico?
Yep.
Have you climbed it?
No, I have not.
So it's an overnight, it's a day thing. You'd love it. It's really simple. But what I really enjoyed about it is that because it's in the middle of nowhere, probably like Everest, when you go to sleep at night, there's my tents there in the in the crater.
Yes.
And, with no light pollution, stars above. I can imagine like it was. I've never seen anything like it in my life.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable, actually. So I would encourage. So if you're looking for something to do for just a little side hustle, just go climb Pico. It's unbelievable. It's simple to do. It's an overnight climb, and I think you'd really enjoy that.
Perfect. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, guys, let's wrap it up here. Jen Drummond's going to get out of here. Jen, I'm going to come knock on your door after the show. I've really enjoyed having you on as a guest. You are awesome. You've brought energy. You've brought.
It was a great episode.
Yeah. Good shit.
I'm feeling mighty meager right now having Jen walk out of the lab here, but this is awesome. Jen, you have yourself a great day. We're going to reset the show and keep it going, okay?
Thanks. Take care, everybody.
Thank
All
you,
right,
Jen.
Nice to meet you, Jen.
Bye.
All right. All right, guys, we're resetting hour 2 here. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. Jon and Marty, I'm rarely speechless, but I'm kind of speechless right now.
Yeah, man. She's a beast.
Like,
She
Marty,
got me fired up.
I know when we met Johnny, you and I were privately going like, holy fuck, man, this guy's done this. He's done this. He's done this. And you check all these accomplishments Andersen's done. And I'm not here to knock Andersen because he's obviously accomplished many great things. And Marty, so have you and so have I. But then you hear Jen Drummond. And,
Yeah.
7 kids, survived a massive car crash, not climbed a couple of mountains, climbed, 9 or 10 now and chasing world records. And
Yep.
like this human being just shows, guys, there's just no excuses, is there, Johnny? Like there's no excuses.
No, it's pretty fucking savage, Hey, real quick, just are you guys seeing me be all blurry?
Yeah, I'm noticing that your camera might be a little bit
I just wiped it with the screen with thinking that the cleaning lady put her fat finger on the lens, but that wasn't it.
I don't think it's fuzzy. I think it might be a little bit out of blur there. So I think so. The autofocus. I think the autofocus might not be focusing on you. Is what my problem might be.
I wonder if I pushed a button or something. I thought it was just I cleaned the lens a minute ago, but
I know
I'll try to figure it out because it looks like I look like I'm in. I'm not very clear. I'll try to figure that out. Sorry
That's all good. That's all good. All right, we're gonna reset hour 2, guys. First hour chopped in here. Uncle Keith had some technical problems kicking the show off, but we got it rolling here. Jen Drummond joined us at the 15-minute hour of the show. I invite you guys to go back and listen to that first hour. There's a lot of nuggets, a lot of inspiration. Marty, what's one thing you took out of it, man? What's the one thing you took? You even mentioned your mom. I could see her like, oh my, she's like my mom. She just goes, eh?
Yeah. Just go and do it, man. Just go do it. That's it.
That's it.
Simple.
That's it. Yeah, it isn't for many though, right? And I loved what she said though when she's like, I was supposed to have died in that car crash, and she had a friend that unfortunately passed after that, and she said, it was like a wake up call for her, which was you got to live your life the way that you want to live your life because you don't know when it's time to go. I know it's hard for us often to live that way. We're chasing life. But man, if you can live a life that you want to live, knowing it's going to happen, how it's going to happen, there's a lot of power in that. I take a lot of power from that message she leaves us.
Yeah,
absolutely, man.
So, Marty, I know we got to rock and roll here in a couple minutes, pal.
Yes,
what do you got going on today, brother?
Just work and podcast, get a little workout in. That's about it, man.
Nice.
Same old. Yes,
there you
sir.
go. Awesome. All right, well, listen, let's walk Marty out of the lab here, Jimmy, and we'll keep the show rolling here on Mornings with Keith and Friends. Marty, we'll get after. We'll talk to you on the weekend, pal.
Yes, sir. And we got to talk about what I sent you next week.
Yeah, well, yes. Unless you got a quick second to talk about it right now.
Let's wait till next week because I need to hear Johnny's full analysis.
We got my time was to drop it on the loop this morning, but I had some technical issues here. But
no, it's cool. Yeah, we'll do it next week.
We got a couple things to save for Monday. Actually, I got a couple of things that are pretty funny that I think are generate some conversation. So we'll leave that in the queue. We'll leave that in the queue for Monday when we reset. And you get after today, Marty. Have a good one, okay, pal?
Yes, sir. I see y'all, man. Oh yeah, Johnny.
Yo,
you ain't say nothing about the logo on my shirt.
Well, we already did it.
No, that was in the middle. This one's on the side.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, I didn't recognize that. That's good
man.
shit,
I thought Johnny would have saw it, but Johnny ain't.
Well, honestly, I was more paying attention to just the overall style of the fact that it was, small. But the fact that it's I like the side. That's all these little. I mean, it's crazy. These little tiny changes, people will buy more of them.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah. Good shit, brother. Let's go.
Right. Thanks, man.
All right, boys, let's keep it going, Marty. We'll see you later, pal.
See you, man.
All right, guys, let's keep rocking and rolling.
Have a good loop, brother. Yeah, give me a piss real quick, my brother. It looks like I don't. Now that he's gone, I'm clear.
Yeah, something's changed up through there. So you're in good shape. You go for a piss. Let's come back and talk about. Let's talk about relationships when you come back. Okay, brother?
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Okay, so while Johnny's doing that, I'm going to do this here, guys. I'm going to reset. With a topic I want to get on the table here this morning, and it is. I'm just finding this right here. And I'm going to put it up here. And I dropped the post here this morning. It's dropping here in a couple minutes here, guys. I dropped a post here that I want to share with all of you over on LinkedIn and so forth. And it says, I've called it a love letter to my wife. And I thought that I could take a moment to share it with you guys. Yesterday I dropped a pretty big post about, just going through divorce. And today I want to take a quick minute to celebrate through words what's really meaningful, important to me, and it's what I'm calling is a love letter to my wife. She's worthy of recognition. My wife, my partner, my best friend. Not because she asks for it, nope. Not because she demands it, nope. But because she's earned it. She leads. She builds. She sacrifices. She stands in the fire when others step back, and she does the things that others won't. She gets after it every day, even if she hits the snooze button. She's the foundation of us, the rock that keeps me grounded, the touch that makes me weak at the knees. And today is about pausing to celebrate love. But me, I choose to celebrate it every day. For who? For her. For you. In this open letter, to show you that I'm more than just a guy on the camera, that there's more depth than what meets the eye. That I love the moments that no one sees, the decisions that shape our futures, the quiet resilience that keeps love moving forward on this Valentine's Day. So I ask you, who do you recognize, nation? Who do you wake up today and recognize? Is it your mother? Is it your daughter? Is it your partner? Is it your spouse? And why? Let's talk about it. I invite you, come interact with me in the LinkedIn comments, over on Substack. Come talk about it on the platforms. Who are you recognizing and why? Who are you empowering in and why? I want to have the conversation, guys, because today's the day we celebrate the love of our lives. And hey, from my point of view, we should be celebrating the love of our lives every single day. But it seems like today on the calendar, we are all wrapped up to say, hey, we got to celebrate somebody. So today's the day we're going to be celebrating our loves and so forth. And I know Johnny's going to be celebrating his love. John, I just wrote a love letter to my wife, and because that's how we get after it here in the day on the show.
Check this out, brother. Hold on real quick. My shoulder's sore, so I'm having to use my second arm to get this thing over here. But see this right here?
Yes. Oh, yes, baby.
Well, this is not my book. This is just a 3-ring binder of just loose pages that I just take notes in. When this show's over, I'm gonna basically spend some time writing something for Terry.
Yes.
Because I want to do it on the day. You know what I mean? A lot of times, on the day of, you're going to get a different emotion, a better emotion. And so when we're done, that's my next task.
Dude, I'm the same way. As I've been very transparent on the show, I'm all about writing love letters to my wife, and that's what she's getting today as well. It's a love letter from me and a book that I've created for her. And because I think that there's nothing more special than the words that come from your heart, words that come from, it's a very personal thing, right? So, but Johnny, let's be real, man. A lot of guys say they support women at work. I think a lot of guys say that. But when it's time to actually step up, I'm going to offer this, Johnny. It's silence. But the truth is, the game is still rigged. Right, women are still, women are playing with a stacked deck. The pay gap hasn't budged. Leadership roles still mostly men. And when things go south, women take the hard hit. It's just a frank reality, Johnny. It's still the reality in the world today. So if you actually give a damn about being a leader, I'd invite you to consider this, gentlemen. Let's talk about what that looks like. Right? Let's talk about what it's like to empower and recognize the females around us. And I'm going to put 7 strategies for men who want to be better allies, Johnny, to women in the workplace. Right? So
in the workplace, okay.
Yeah, let's talk about it, Johnny. Stop keeping women out of the good stuff. Right? Big opportunities happen in the back rooms, the golf courses, or the informal gatherings, and who's usually not there? Well, in the past, it's never been the women. Right? So if there's a woman on your team has earned a seat at the table, make sure she actually gets there, right? And she's not there, pause the damn meeting until she is. I've been in situations, John, where, in my past world, where that was the case. And I'm like, well, why don't we have the best talent here? Nobody would answer the question, right? So here's one for you, Johnny. Shut up and listen. And AJ talked about it yesterday, but here's the key. And actually listen. I know you and I've talked about this. When Terry's talking to you in the past, you've maybe not have been the best listener. So you've had to learn how to actually listen. Hear what I say next, John. Not to fix, not to respond, but just to understand. John, lean into that.
Ask questions, man. Here's the thing. If you struggle with it like me, and your mate knows that it's been a challenge, you might shut your mouth, but she's wondering, are you really there?
Yes, that's exactly.
So how do you prove to her that she's there? Because keep in mind, she's going off of years of you not being there. So she's justified in feeling that way. So here's the simple tip. Either keep your mouth shut or ask questions. Because if you're asking questions, then you're showing her that you're interested about what she's talking about. Making statements can be misconstrued. Even if you're agreeing, that statement can be misconstrued.
Yes. Staying on the topic, boys, with work, kill the assumptions. Guys, stop assuming she doesn't want a leadership role because she has kids. Stop assuming she doesn't want to plan the office party. Stop assuming because she's pregnant that she's not going to be productive. Johnny had somebody come to me a couple weeks ago saying, I'm going to be having a child in a little while here. I hope it doesn't affect our relationship. I'm like, no, that's awesome. Let's celebrate it. I hate when I hear of situations where women get penalized because they want to have a baby. I'm like, really? Come on, man. What is it? 19 fucking 18, right? You want a high performing team? Check your biases and see people for their actual skills, not the outdated playbook. John, here's the other thing too, man. Move over. You don't have to be the guy leading every meeting or closing every deal. Sometimes the best leadership move is handling the mic over to somebody else, right? So if there's a big opportunity, ask yourself who's the best person in the room. And if she's a female, don't overlook it. Give it to her. The best person's a female. And that's where I struggle sometimes with this DEI stuff, which is in the, when we have to check the DEI box, we got to check it off because we need to make sure that we're appeasing something in the box. Hold on. If it's the greatest human to do it and she happens to happen to be female, encourage it, man. Yep. Shut down the bullshit, Johnny. Sexist jokes, backhanded comments about a female exec, somebody getting dismissed in a meeting. You got to say something fast, gentlemen. Don't be afraid to stand up. John, I don't think enough men stand up in situations like this.
Yeah. I mean, I think what it comes down to it is, people are still very afraid of what other people are going to say or think about them when they do what they feel is right. But realistically, when it comes down to it, when you act upon what you feel and you own it, you're going to gain the respect of those people.
Yes, exactly. Number 6, guys, on how to put some strategies, 7 strategies for men who want women to win in the workplace. Talk about women when they're not in the room. Women don't get promoted as often because when the doors close, guys only bring up other guys. Yep. If you believe in someone's work, say it loud. And especially when she's not there to advocate herself, or better yet, invite her into the room and say, hey, we want to have you part of the party, right? And then guys, show up and actually give a damn. Skip the fluffy corporate diversity trainings and get involved. Sponsor talented women, push for real opportunities, treat gender equity like what it actually is, a business strategy, right? Don't check the box because somebody says you got to check the box. If she's the most talented human being in the room, encourage her, empower her, and help her and set her to lead. It's as simple as that. And right, the final thought is this: leadership equals action, right? And I'm sorry, I'll say this. You got to look no further than what's happening in the United States. Whether you agree or not agree, there is action happening. There is action happening every single day. And Johnny, you said it best too, pal. This is not about looking good. It's about being good. It's about doing something instead of waiting for something to happen. The best leaders don't wait to be told what to do. They see a problem, they take action, and they don't expect a medal for doing the right thing. I can never think that you've done something because it's the right thing. You've done something because it's, you're doing it because it's what has to happen.
It's what needs to be done.
Exactly what needs to be done here. So gentlemen, as you go through your day today, support the women at work. Right. And listen, if there's anything that I can just ask you to do today, guys, if you're not supporting the women at work for the other 364 days of the year, at least do it today. Right. And if anything, maybe it's the day that gets you to push forward to do it every other single day. And that's some of the reasons why I hate these.
What do you do? What do you do?
Some of these days why I wonder why we don't focus on the positive things instead of just wrapping ourselves around in some negative energy around one day. Thanks, Johnny. I appreciate that, brother.
Baby.
Oh, there you go. There you go. All right. We're coming to the 20-minute mark of the hour here with Keith and Johnny here. Mornings Alive with Keith and friends. John, I'm gonna walk out of here very, very shortly. Terry's getting up. You're writing her a letter. And then what are you guys doing later today? You guys got dinner planned or what are you guys doing?
It really depends on how she's feeling.
Yeah.
I told her, listen, you dictate the day, whatever you want to do. I mean, she may want to have some life expectancy work. Who knows?
Yes, exactly. Well, I'm hoping that's going to happen in our world here today as well. So I can live a little bit longer here, and that might just get.
But what she's most the key here is that there's a point in the day where I'm going to disengage. I'm even going to let her pick the time. Anytime after 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
At noon, she wants me to basically cut loose of what I'm doing. And that's what I'm doing.
Nice. Hey, John, I got a question for you before you go. You ever sit across from someone on a first date? The check arrives and suddenly it's a game of financial chicken. Do you reach for it? Do you wait? Does the girl even want you to pay? And it's a dance of modern dating, outdated etiquette, shifting gender roles, unspoken expectations. John, who should pay in 2024 on that first date? 2025, I mean.
I think it depends on the female sitting across from you because, there's so many variables in this, and I think when it comes down to it, if you've got a level of emotional intelligence, you'll figure out what to do when it's time. Yes. If you're not paying attention and you really don't know who you're with, I could see this being kind of a oh shit moment.
Yes.
But I mean, fellas, I say, be a little bit more intentional about what you're doing and be more present in what you're doing, and you'll figure this shit out.
That's right. That's right. A recent study, Johnny, asked 300,000 American singles this exact question. And surprise, surprise, men and women are not on the same page. Men say, I got this. 63% of the men surveyed believe it's their job to pay. Call it chivalry, call it tradition, call it avoiding awkwardness. But here's the twist, Johnny. Only 46% of the women actually expect men to cover the bill. So what's really happening? Men assume it's what women want. Meanwhile, women are actually there thinking, we don't actually care that much.
Or is it that men have become so pathetic that the women think that they may have to pay?
Right. Women say, let's mix it up. Less than 5% of men think women should pay, but twice as many women, 10%, say they'd be fine picking up the tab. And then, Johnny, here's the Dutch dilemma, splitting the bill. Only 7% of men want to go halves, but 18% of women think that's the way to go. Big disconnect. Right. So, and here's the thing, Johnny, a relationship psychologist, Zoe, says men still feel socially obligated to pay, even though gender roles have evolved. Women, on the other hand, increasingly prefer to split. It's less about money and more about what it symbolizes. Translation, men are paying out of habit. Women are wondering why. Johnny,
and that's exactly what I mean. You got to just understand that female.
Yes. Yeah. So listen, I'm a romantic at heart, man. I really am. I'll be frank with you right now. I like opening the door on the car for my wife. I like closing the door for my wife. I like picking up the tab. There's just simple things that I enjoy. I'm a romance that way. I like just doing those little things that, I grew up with the movies you and I watched growing up, right? Where you get to the door first, you open the door for your lady, you take care of your lady. It's that you take care of your woman. I don't know, John.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's very true, very true. And I think for a parent. A father, excuse me.
Yes,
seeing the father doing those things helps the especially little girls recognize how they should be treated.
Exactly, because you have daughters, I have daughters. I don't know about you, man, but I want my daughters treated the same way that I treat my wife, and I think there's something special about that, right?
Yep.
So
100%.
All right, pal, listen, I'm going to walk you out of here. Jimmy and I are going to continue the show into the community corner, create a spotlight before we wrap it up here in a number of minutes. I enjoyed the show here to Jen Drummond's a beast, man. She is an absolute
savage.
I got to be honest, though. I feel kind of embarrassed. I'm going to say it on the air here. I made a stupid assumption about the partner supporting thing here, and I think I asked the wrong question. So
no, but the thing about it is what I recognize is there may have been a little something, but
yeah,
she took it in stride. It's like, like it's the thing of like when we first did our show.
Yeah.
I can't remember if you'd said you were going to give me questions, but I said, look, I'm not looking at them. You ask me something I don't like, I'll dance.
Yes.
And that's the power.
Yes.
That's the power, is that you could ask her anything and she's going to be okay with it. So for you to worry that you did something wrong, it's only in your mind, brother.
No, you're right. It's all in my, but that's funny because that's why I had to bring it up, because I needed my colleague, my friend, my brother to say, no, man, it's all in your mind. Oh yeah, right. It's my own story. It's my own story.
Yeah, it's not like you said the question and she said she danced and then you forced her, you put the press on her. You know what I mean?
I got to tell you though, I don't know how one can't feel a little inspired by some of the things she's dropped. Right. And she talks about things like you and I put her underwear on. Oh yeah, I just climbed Aconcagua 2 weeks ago. Johnny, I've looked at Aconcagua. Like, that is not just a little hill in your backyard. That is a massive freaking accomplishment. It's taller than Kilimanjaro. You climb Kili, you do Aconcagua next, right? So the fact that she just just kind of fluffily is like, oh yeah, I just did it a couple weeks ago, and I vomited my way up, and I was supposed to do it in 3 weeks, but I did it in 10 days. Like, I got
stretching out the limits of the human being. That's what it's all about.
You guys are very mutual beasts like that way. She is one of you which will do the shit that others won't do.
And that's what separates. That's the separating factor.
That's exactly it. All right, pal, let's get you out of here. You have yourself a great loop, brother. I look forward to reconnecting with you over the weekend and on Monday. Okay, pal?
You got it, brother. Have a great loop.
All right, brother. You too. All right, Jimmy. Johnny's going to get out of here. Jimmy, I got to slow it down, man. I'm a little bit, I don't know. Take a deep breath. Yeah. Take a deep breath. I got to find Jimmy's notes. Where's my boy? Man, I'm going to confess to you guys something this morning. So the show started, and all of a sudden I was like stuttering robot boy. I was down here early doing testing before the show even started. Had a bunch of guests show up at the beginning. Had Sullivan here, had Jeremy here, everybody here. And Uncle Keith was just stuttering away. So I apologize for that, you guys. Oh man, I didn't even feel like I got to everything I wanted to talk about today. So I am going to pause my own self for a quick second while I got these sultry sounds. Community Corner, the Creator Spotlight. We're going to celebrate somebody in a couple moments. But before we do that, Jim, I'm going to go look for my notes because Jimmy, what we're going to do, pal, is I'm going to reflect on what I've missed here today and we might go back to it. Yeah. Yes, Jimmy's like, we got into a mess, but Jen suddenly showed up and changed the environment. It's true. Yeah, it was, as Marty said, man, it's not about 10s every single day. It's consistent 7s, consistent 8s. Some days are 10s, some days are 2s. We try to deliver consistent 7s here, consistent 8s, consistent 9s on the show here. Hey, you guys watching the Four Nations hockey? My fans out there, you guys watching any of those hockey fans out there? My fans, hockey fans out there? Fuck, U.S. just crushed it last night. Canada crushed it a couple days ago. All right, so let's see here. What did we not get a chance to talk about here this morning and that I want to talk about here this morning? We got the accountability check-in, read the love letter to my wife. We talked about strategies. Here's something. Here's something, Jim, I want to get after here today. Jimmy, I want to talk about this before we get to Creative Spotlight. Jimmy, let's get into, if you guys got the gamma here, our response to 7 behaviors of men who truly love and respect women. I'd like to get after that one here, guys. I want to throw that on the table here to have that conversation here, guys. It's a day where we're all about empowering. We're all about empowering our loved ones. So if you guys got a visual ready for this one, let's do it, boys. I'm going to get this set up here. I really want to get this one set up. Yeah, here we go. All right. So guys, ears up, boys. Ears up, ears up. Respect in relationships. It's something we all think we understand, but I don't know. Do we really? Do we really? Do you really understand it? I saw an article called 7 Behaviors of Men Who Truly Love and Respect Their Women. It made some great points. Listening, honoring boundaries, supporting her dreams, all good stuff. But gentlemen, let's take the conversation further this morning. Respect, it's not just about something you do in a relationship. It's a reflection of how you carry yourself everywhere in life. Let's break it down, boys. Respect starts before the relationship. The article says that a man who respects a woman listens and values what she has to say. True. And that skill doesn't start in a relationship. It starts in how you show up every day, gentlemen. How you treat your friends, your colleagues, and your strangers. If you build that muscle daily, it'll be second nature in your relationships. So I'd encourage you, focus on respect, not only for your loved ones, but for everyone around you. Number 2, boys, boundaries go both ways. You know, we've often talked about boundaries here on the show, the power of the boundary, right? The boundary doesn't mean to be negative, guys. The boundary is a good way to honor ourselves. And this article talks about honoring boundaries. Yes, absolutely. A relationship works best when both people feel heard, valued, and supported. And that means knowing and communicating your own boundaries too. Guys, I'll be frank. I grew up for a long time not knowing and understanding what the hell the boundaries were. And guys, it's not about control. No, we don't want to be controlling. It's about clarity. Offering those words. Respect in a relationship is a two-way street where both partners feel safe, understood, and gentlemen, respected. There you go. Number 3, guys. Support is more than just encouragement. Again, the article says a respectful man supports his partner ambitions. Guys, support isn't just words, it's action. You know the old cliche, talk. Make action, guys. It's taking an interest in what excites them. It's creating a space for their growth. It's celebrating their wins, even when it has nothing to do with you. Guys, I fucking hate running. Hate it. My wife loves to run, loves it. It's the fuel for her. So what did I do, boys? I've taken up running. Why? So we can talk about it, so we can share it, so she can help me. I can help her. I can understand what she's going through. So boys, we can talk like a motherfucker all we want, but show some action. Celebrate their wins, even when it has nothing to do with you. And guys, I'll be honest, I was that guy from time to time where I couldn't figure it out. But a strong relationship is built when both people, a strong relationship is built, guys, when both people push each other forward. Maybe your wife or your partner loves to do something that you don't want to do. Imagine doing it and imagine how she's going to feel. True story. Guys, affection is in the small stuff. The article says respect shows inconsistent. This article talks about respect showing inconsistent affection, not just the big gestures. And that's where, I really agree with Amy Reinhardt talking about these performative days. It's Valentine's Day. All of a sudden I got to show up for one day. Really? It's not about Valentine's Day or the anniversary or the birthday or the special day. No, it's about the little things. Every day. Love letters, love notes, little limericks. Hey, Amy, paying attention, being present. As AJ said yesterday, it takes no skill to be present. It takes no skill to give effort. Putting in the effort every day is going to have immediate payoff. Affection isn't something you turn on when the moment calls for it, guys. It's something that's woven into how you show up day in and day out. That's affection. Guys, accountability over perfection. The article again says a respectful man owns his mistakes. Guys, I fucked up last week. Had an argument with my wife. Yeah, I was right the whole time. Not. I was right until she reminded me, hey, Mr. Bilous, yeah? Mr. Communicator, yeah? Go look in your own mirror. Yep, I did. So, it's not about being perfect, guys. It's about taking accountability. It's about owning when you're wrong. It's about owning when there's a mistake, right? Being respectful owns mistakes. Taking responsibility isn't just about saying sorry. It's about learning. Listen, it's easy to say sorry, but if you're not going to do anything after saying sorry, what the hell's the point of saying sorry? It's about learning. It's about adjusting. It's about doing better next time. It's about how you handle things when you mess up. You've heard the cliche. You've heard the saying, don't judge me for the mistake. Judge me for how I respond. And I would argue it's the same way in a relationship. Judge me for how I respond when I fuck up, because I'm going to fuck up. I'm going to make a mistake. So when I make a mistake, judge me for what I do next. No excuses, no blame shifting, just real accountability. And as my lovely wife yesterday pointed out, when our egos are involved, man, it's tough to get over that. But if you can get over that and put your ego aside, that's what builds trust. That's what builds forever. Guys, let's close it up. At the end of the day, respect, it's not a checklist. Nope, it's a mindset. It's not just about relationships. It's about how you carry yourself everywhere in life. So as you're going through your day today, whether you're celebrating Valentine's Day as a day today, or whether you're celebrating love throughout the entire year, start your day with respect. Look to your partner. Lean in to allow her to lean back. And guys, empower, encourage, and celebrate. There you go. That's a little tip for you guys here today. 7 behaviors of men who truly love and respect their women and men. I know if you're tuning into the show, I hope you guys are picking up on some of the things we're really leaning into. We want to celebrate our women, right? And guys, we haven't talked about this today either. Celebrate your mom. Celebrate your daughter. Celebrate your dad. But listen, guys, send a message to your mom today. Say, I love you. Send a message to your daughter today. Say, I love you. Wish them a happy Valentine's Day. All right, Amy, I appreciate that. Great show, great guest. Yes, we got the Obscure Ninja coming here. Boundaries, a line which marks the line of an area, a dividing line, a country boundary. Yeah. The Obscure Ninja, I think too often we think about boundaries as a negative thing. We think when we hear of a boundary, we hear of, oh, I can't do that. When we hear of a boundary, we think of it's a negative experience. When I don't know if it necessarily is. I think boundaries in a healthy relationship can move a relationship forward. So I'd encourage you to draw those boundaries, encourage those boundaries. Again, I struggled with that in my previous life. I didn't know what the hell they meant. I had to learn about boundaries. Okay, Jimmy, let's get to it, man. Let's get to the community corner, the creator spotlight. I'm going to pull up the notes here that you sent me here while I figure out why my screen is as crazy as it is here. There we go. Okay. All right. So listen, this morning we are going to get into, but there we go. Many men want a strong loving relationship. But here's the reality, guys. Between society's mixed messages and personal struggles, a lot of guys feel lost when it comes to building that connection. They think that being nice is the key to a great relationship. By the way, what the hell is nice? What does nice even mean? Amy, what does nice mean? Jimmy, what does nice mean? Those 4 letters, nice. It's like saying sure. It's just such an ambiguous term. These men, they try to please everyone except themselves. They bottle up their emotions, thinking that that's what strong men do. Listen, if you're bottling up your emotions, this is not the show for you. I'm inviting you to uncork those emotions and come to our show. So today, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends is really excited. Jimmy, let's get it ready, brother. Is really excited to celebrate this next person. Today, we are going to quickly take a minute to celebrate, Jimmy, Brian Goodwin. He's a men's relationship coach who helps men stop overthinking, stop self-sabotaging, and start leading their relationships with confidence. Because here's the truth, guys. If you can't set boundaries, your partners can't trust you to lead. If you can't express emotions, your relationship will always feel disconnected. If you keep making yourself small, you're going to be small. You'll never build something strong. You heard what Jen Drummond said earlier, right? Brian helps men build their 4 pillars of masculinity so they can step up, take charge, create relationships built on trust, respect, and real connections. This dude's not about hacks or tricks. He's about real transformation. So guys, if you're tired of feeling stuck in your own life, let alone your relationship, whether it's yourself or with somebody else, listen, it's time to do something about it. The guy we're celebrating today, Brian Goodwin, he's that guy. So Brian, here's how it works, brother. We are here to celebrate you today at Mornings Alive with Keith and Friends. We'd love to have you on the show at this time because we know there's somebody in your orbit, Brian, that we need to celebrate. So we'd love to have you on the show. Bring your knowledge, bring your great expertise. And then I'm suspecting, Brian, there is somebody in your orbit that we need to bring on stage and celebrate on your behalf on the Community Corner Creator Spotlight with Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. All right, Jim, there we go, man. I think we're working our way towards the end of the show here today, guys. Yeah, true story. I'm going to get my second lift in here today. Got a little bit of cardio in this morning, got the heart work done. And we're going to go do a lift here today. It's a big back day today, guys. Got to take care of the big back muscles. Right? Going to get some stability and agility. And hey, listen, tomorrow, if you're not doing nothing, come join me. 120-minute ride on the Peloton. Yep, 120 minutes, 2 hours. 2-hour ride. So if you're not doing nothing at 6 a.m. tomorrow, come join me. Listen, you don't need to have the bike. You don't need to have the app. Come and join me for 2 hours and get something done, whether it's lifting, stretching, running, walking. Come knock on my door today. We'll figure it out. And you're invited to a 2-hour workout tomorrow morning to kick off the day on the Saturday. All right, Jim, I think it's time to get out of here. I'm still feeling a little bit flustered today. That's all right. Can't be perfect. On behalf of myself, I'm Keith Bilous. On behalf of Jon Andersen. On behalf of... Thanks, Jimmy. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, it was just kind of off. I don't know. Thanks. Here's the thing which which I love, right? Anybody who doesn't know would not think that it was a cluster of a show today. But in my perspective, today was a cluster of a show. Jen Drummond was great. She was awesome. Her 45-minute segment was fucking bomb, man. But so where I get frustrated when I do these things is that my first 4 or 5 minutes was kind of like, nah, I have some technical difficulties. And then the whole morning loop thing kind of went, because my screens were all messed up. And then my screen here wasn't even going here before the show started. But I knew when yesterday ended, today was going to be a little bit interesting. So listen, we're going to be back here on Monday, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends, the only morning show to help you guys get your day started. We're the morning show for men. You'll find us on X. You'll find us on LinkedIn. You'll find us on YouTube. And then you'll find us around all the other social platforms with content we have living throughout the day. Yes, Jimmy. Haha, we'll get a good one day. Yeah, we keep trying, man. We just keep showing up. So on behalf of producer Jimmy, on behalf of Tommy in the community, on behalf of Marty, on behalf of Johnny, no, that's not the right button there. Yeah, see, Jimmy, I still got to, there we go. On behalf of Jimmy, Marty, Johnny, Jen Drummond, myself, Keith Bilous. Yep, that's me, the guy in the red shirt here today. We're going to get out of here. I'm going to go celebrate some love with my wife. Maybe get some life expectancy work in. Who knows? Jimmy, let's roll it, brother. Appreciate you, Amy. Appreciate your good time. I appreciate you, Jeremy Cunningham. I appreciate everybody's patience while we sorted the show out today. And Sullivan, I appreciate you joining us as well. Adam Holroyd still hanging out, man. I love it. Good time, still here. I love it, the fact you guys are, yeah, man. It's just one of those. It's funny. I was having a conversation with a young lady a couple days ago. She's like, "You guys do this live? Like, what happens if you screw up?" I'm like, "Oh, then we just screw up. That's just how life is, because we screw up in life." So, but we're gonna get it good. Let's go, Jimmy. Let's get out of here. See you guys. We'll see you Monday. Have a great weekend. We'll see you guys in the feeds.